40.
The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
The voice of the creative economy.
With Vincent Heeringa.
It's from Idealogue magazine, Good magazine, and a few of the others as well over at Tangible. G'day there, Vincent. How you doing?
Good morning, Wammo. How are you?
Good. Of course, the man always full of ideas, and today, multiple ideas. In fact, multiplicity. What does that mean?
Well, it's a strange phenomenon that sociologists have long identified, but we often are very tough on people who we say have plagiarised ideas, as if ideas are unique to individuals. But history is full of such amazing coincidences that the sociologists that I'm talking about have developed the theory of multiplicity. And I'll just give you an example of how that would work. So when a film comes out, it's often accompanied by a film that is ever so similar. So Ants, the animated film, came out at exactly the same time as A Bug's Life.
Yeah.
And The Truman Show came out at the same time as EdTV. And movies reflect the scientific world and the technology world as well, because in science there are hundreds of examples of what would seem to be, on the surface, complete coincidences. For instance, calculus was simultaneously developed by Isaac Newton in the UK, or in England, at the same time as Gottfried Leibniz was developing it in Germany. The telegraph was developed at exactly the same time by Charles Wheatson in England as it was in America by Samuel Morse.
And those it's not purely coincidence, though, is it? Because it's to do with strings of intelligence going around at that time.
Well, that's the theory of multiplicity, and there are two conflicting theories of ideas here, where we have a romantic notion of the inventor being a crazy genius who, out of their unique perspective, often quite mad perspective on the world, has developed a breakthrough thought. And our vision of the Einsteins of this world is crazy here and individual brilliance. But evolution, take for instance, let's take E equals mc squared was as much the work of Einstein as it was the work of other European scientists at the time, like Poincare and one that I've never of Olinto de Pretto and Lorentz. Lorentz is the famous physicist who developed lots of theories about electricity, and there's almost the typewriter, for instance, has 25 people claim or are attributed to the invention of the typewriter, and I don't think they're illegitimate claims. That your point may be right, that there may be ideas in the air that would be discovered rather than or developed, rather than major breakthroughs by individuals.
So what can we take from this idea, though, of multiplicity? Well,
there are a few things. The first is that we are very tough on people who plagiarise, and we may have to re-examine plagiarism as a phenomenon, and we may have to reimagine how we defend intellectual property, because it can be that people have the same idea at the same time. But the second thing is, I think, kind of perhaps reimagining how it is we come up with ideas and where ideas come from.
Yeah.
And it's perhaps just a different way of looking at it. Like Michelangelo was famous for saying, they say, how can you carve an angel? And he said, well, I don't so much carve an angel as take away the bits of stone where the angel isn't present.
Huh.
And so, maybe there's a different way to develop innovation and ideas. It's more about than locking yourself away in a room and coming up with a brilliant idea, than engaging with the world and letting the ideas come to you.
Because, of course, with that idea of plagiarism, though, that people are worried that their idea will be stolen in some way, either by an individual or an organisation.
Yes.
So therefore people don't want to share before the fruits of that idea are fully explored.
No, that's true. and ideas are worth protecting, and I guess that's why we have an intellectual property system. But you know what? Ideas are pretty cheap. They're pretty easy. It's execution that's hard, and perhaps the answer is not so much that you can claim credit for the idea, but what did you do with it next? Did you actually pursue it through to a product or a manufacturing phase? And this is the bit that New Zealanders are particularly bad at, is quite good backyard inventors, but we're less good at actually turning them into products.
Do you come up with new ideas every day?
I'm not sure about that, Wammo. I certainly come up with, maybe I do. Maybe I do. But,
do you record them? Do you write them down?
I do have a notebook, actually, that I scribble my ideas. I don't know if I ever go back and read it. But,
well, at least they're there, though, if you need to be inspired.
Exactly. I do know people that wake up every night and write down their brilliant ideas. Funnily enough, they're not that brilliant, especially when you've been drinking.
No, that's so true. Hey, thanks, Vincent.
It's a pleasure, Wammo.
Go over to idealog.co.nz for some more.